Shanti and good evening, everyone. Nice to be with all of you today. Today's topic, as all of you must be knowing, is on forgiveness. So I would like to use PowerPoint presentation so that you can have both audio and visual. So the topic today is healing through the practice of forgiveness. If we look at this word itself, the word itself, forgive, there is, if you just separate this word for and give, it says give. That means giving is an important component in the practice of forgiveness, as giving is very healing. But the question is what to give, how to give, whom to give. And in order to answer these questions, let's first look into the various definitions of forgiveness that have been used by psychologists in their research on forgiveness. There has been a lot of research on this topic, and I came across many beautiful definitions of forgiveness, which I would like to share with you. Forgiveness means to move on from upsetting memories and then focus on something better, more important, more rewarding, more empowering in the present. It has also been defined as conscious, deliberate decision to release. That means letting go feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness. Forgiveness simply means peace and understanding that comes from lessening the blame of that which has hurt you, taking your life experience less personally, and seeing the cost of holding a grudge. Psychologists have also defined forgiveness. Actually, they have divided forgiveness into two types. The first one is decisional forgiveness, when a person makes a decision to forgive, and there is no longer any resistance to forgive the offender. And the second one is emotional forgiveness, which is the gradual replacement of unforgiving emotions with positive emotions like empathy, compassion. Also, it is very important to know what is not forgiveness. So forgiveness does not mean choosing to stay in an unhealthy, toxic environment or maintaining an abusive relationship with someone. It also does not mean condoning bad behavior and approving to wrongdoings or excusing offenses. It does not mean denying the other person's responsibility or absolving a criminal of his or her crime. But true forgiveness is about letting go of the resentment. Resentment is like holding fire within in one's hands and waiting for the right moment to throw it to the person whom the resentment is felt. But it causes more harm to the person holding it than the person it is thrown at. And so many research studies have shown that holding grudges against someone and having a non-forgiving attitude, that is actually the cause of many illnesses, like chronic illnesses like cancer, heart disease, hypertension, depression, anxiety, insomnia, on and on, the list goes on and on. And forgiveness intervention has been shown to cause decrease in heart rate, blood pressure, as well as reduction in the levels of adrenaline and cortisol. These are the stress chemicals, and also the strengthening of immune system. So unforgiveness is actually a stressor for the body. Let's understand a little bit about how forgiveness impacts our mind and our brain. So when we focus on resentment, what happens? That the conscious mind, it is like it starts to create those thoughts of resentment, and also mind creates not only thoughts, but also it imagines. So all those scenes, they appear as like a movie. The story, the person revisits the same story, the same movie that belongs to the past. And as the past is unchangeable, there is this feeling that I'm a victim of my emotions. So when that information, it goes into a place in the brain, that is amygdala, that is the limbic system, that is the place where our emotions, they get processed. So when this information goes to this part of the brain, then there is activation of sympathetic nervous system, and then many stress chemicals are released. And also, there is a happiness meter inside our brain. And when the person starts to ruminate over and over thinking about the past, then the pain sensors in the brain, they get activated. And because of that, there is the feel-good neuromodulators that are in the brain, their secretion gets reduced, like serotonin, that's a happy hormone, that gets reduced. And then what happens, this meter kind of pushes to the left side, that it causes very negative, uncomfortable, and miserable feeling in the person. But when the person starts to practice forgiveness, so what happens, then person starts to engage himself or herself in the present moment and stop thinking about the past. So there is no more revisiting the past. So those memories and the movie will not be running in the mind. So what will happen, there won't be this feeling that I am the victim of my emotions. There will be new experiences. There will be, very empowering experiences for the person, because now what will happen, the happiness meter will turn towards the right side as the person begins to secrete more and more happy hormones. And it's very interesting, when I was doing a little bit of research on this topic of forgiveness, I found that someone came up with a forgiveness map of the body. It's very interesting to know that the part of our body that experiences pain has so much to do with what we think, how we feel, and behave and act. So these are few things that I found, that throat pain, somebody has throat pain, so that is related to the lack of expression of pain caused by an offense. And neck, actually, our neck reflects our flexibility. So when there is lack of flexibility, that leads to tensed muscles, and this is because of the resentment that person holds within. And when there is ankle pain, it's almost always because someone is holding that negative feeling inside, and that does not allow the person to move forward in life. And back pain, it is because of the emotional weight that the person holds in the form of resentment that is unconsciously rejected. And if there is knee pain, that is often related to unwillingness to bend. That means there is a lot of ego inside. And then teeth and gums, if the person has a lot of anger, there is aggressive feeling inside, then sometimes the movement, there is a crack on the gums, and also sometimes there is dislocation of teeth as well. So this was an interesting finding. So if we want to avoid pain of any kind that is related to unhealthy emotions, forgiveness should be our choice. So if you forgive, today is 15th August, it's the day of independence for India. Those who are from India, they know about it. So as you see here in this picture, birds are being released from the cage. So forgiveness is like that. If we choose forgiveness, then it gives us maximum benefit, because we feel as if we are getting released from a prison. Somebody said that forgiveness is to set a prisoner free and to discover that prisoner was you. So forgiving someone gives us a sense of liberation. And we ourselves, from inside, we ourselves feel very light, very free, because there is release of negative emotions. And when there is release of negative emotions, then that creates space inside. And in that space, then we can make effort to generate the feelings of love, compassion for others. Because if there are feelings of sadness, resentment, hurt, anger, these negative energy within will not allow us to experience the positive qualities that are already within us. But because of these negative emotions that we keep inside, these positive emotions, the positive qualities, we are not able to express them. So it's very important to release ourselves from this prison that we are in. So remember that forgiveness is actually our inner power, and it is very healing if we practice it regularly. And we can harness this power through the practice of meditation. So let's understand a few more subtle things about forgiveness. For the past month or so, me and my husband Shitank, we have been thinking a lot about forgiveness and doing a lot of research. So we came up with few things. So that's what I'm going to share with you about these levels of forgiveness. So what are the different levels of forgiveness? There are basically 4 levels of forgiveness based on how long we take to forgive. Level 1, as you are listening to this, you can also make the assessment where you are in these levels. So level 1 is when someone takes a long time, the whole lifetime, to forgive someone. Level 2 is taking a long time, like maybe a few years or months or weeks. And 3, when the person takes a short time, maybe days or hours, to forgive someone. And the level 4 means forgiving in real time as it is happening. And also, besides these levels, there are also levels of forgiveness based on how we forgive someone. So level 1, can you please see whose mic is not muted? Yeah, thank you. So the level 1 forgiveness, that is based on how we forgive. The level 1 is to forgive only after a person has apologized many times. Multiple times person has to say sorry. Maybe sometimes person has to really bow down. So this is the level 1 forgiveness. And the second level is when the person forgives as soon as the person says sorry, as if person is just waiting for the other one to say sorry. So that is the level 2. The third one is forgiving the person even before he or she apologizes. So we can say that that level 1 and level 2, they are like conditional forgiveness, because person is putting condition to forgive someone. And the level 3, we can say that it's unconditional. That means forgiving no matter what you did. And then the level 4 is, it's like forgiveness is not even a question. So we can say that it's like saintly type of forgiveness, when the person does not even feel the need that there is anything damage, that any damage has been done, or person needs to be forgiven, something like that. So that is the level 4. So let's see that what is level 4 forgiveness, and I'm going to talk about level 5 forgiveness. But before that, anyone would like to guess what would be a level 5 forgiveness? Maybe you can type chat or raise your hand. No, no one.
Forgive someone no matter what happens, no matter what they do.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Any other thoughts?
Uh, uh, what I think is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, what I think is level 5. I'm only guessing. Okay. The people we see here, brothers, sisters, or anybody, actually they are born the result of the food coming from outside into the stomach, and finally they are born. If there is no food, there are no children to the couple. So these children belong to the nature. So if I have that idea, I think I will forgive everybody. This is my thought. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
My suggestion is divine love is level 5. The divine forgiveness, rather, it's level 5.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, and someone is saying regardless, always not expecting to be affected. Okay, wonderful. Yes, so I will share with you what we came up with, the level 5 forgiveness, that kind of forgiveness, when the person not only forgives, but the forgiveness takes the form of fire and brings about the transformation in the other person. It's like a current or a shock that someone feels from the person. For example, just for example, if there is a person who has been speaking in a rude way for a long period of time, and because of my presence, that person begins to speak and behave very sweetly because of the power that the person gets from me. So that is the level 5 forgiveness, and I will talk more about this level 5 forgiveness as I move forward. Okay, so to get the maximum benefit, yeah, so before that, I would also like to share with you that this power, there is one word that we use in the Raj Yoga meditation practice by Brahma Kumaris, that is Sakash. Sakash means you are not just forgiving someone, but also there is power. Along with forgiveness, there is power, and this power enables the other person, whatever weakness the person has, those weaknesses will be destroyed because of the power that I am giving to that person. So that is called as Sakash. So forgiveness is like a bang. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so to get the maximum benefit from the act of forgiveness, these are the three things that are important, which I like to call as the healing triangle of forgiveness. That when you're forgiving someone, that forgiveness should be spontaneous. It should be spontaneous without any expectations. It should be very quick, and it should come from your heart so that it is whole and it is complete. It should not be like, I partially forgive and partially I don't forgive. No, it should be complete. So now let's look at the steps that we can take to cultivate forgiveness in our lives. First and foremost step is, it's very important to check, where am I? What is my level of forgiveness? That's the first step. And then secondly, how do I feel holding on to the grudges or resentment within? What is the feeling? If I keep holding on to the grudges, it's very important to check. And then ask yourself this question: am I here in this world to experience sadness or happiness? Why am I here? And whatever I'm experiencing, that's what I'm going to express. So am I here to express and share positive energy of happiness or negative energy of sadness with others. And how are these feelings that I'm having right now, they're serving me in my growth? So once you ask yourself these questions, then after that, after checking, it's important to bring about a change. And what kind of change, what kind of transformation? Permanent transformation. And in order to bring about permanent transformation, it's important to burn the negative emotions that people harbor within themselves. You know, for transformation to happen, it's very important to bring about a change. The first thing that's very important is to bring about change in my response. Because that is the most important thing. Because if my response, if I choose to respond in a positive way, then everything else becomes easy. Yeah. So in order to bring about a change in the feelings, emotions, the feelings of anger, sadness, whatever I'm holding on to, I want to change those emotions into the emotions of peace, joy, sweetness. It's very important to bring about change in my perception. So in order to perceive the same situation or same person differently, I need to bring about a change in my focus. I need to use a lens through which I can see the same situation differently. So what would be that lens? That lens is actually the lens of true understanding, the lens of true knowledge. It's very important to accept everyone as they are. This is a very important pearl of wisdom. As it is said, that to err is human, but to accept is superhuman, and to forgive is divine. So we need to accept everyone as they are. And also it's important to remember that no one is infallible and everyone can commit mistake. So we need to change the focus from what the person did to us, and instead of creating thoughts, what happens is that we keep focusing on what the person did to me, and that way we keep thinking and we keep revisiting the same story again and again, and that leads to the same feelings. So if we this is the place where we have to change. We have to see the same person from a different angle. With that lens, we need to look at the person as a human being instead of human doing. What the person did, instead of that, I need to see the being within. So for that, we need to change. We need to bring about a change in our awareness. Who that being is. We can look at the same person in this way only when we change the way we look at ourselves. We need to bring about a change in the way we look at ourselves. And so we have to be aware of my identity, my true identity. Who am I? We need to ask ourselves this question. And with the practice of Raj Yoga meditation, we get this understanding that I am a soul, a being. And from this angle, if I perceive everyone else also as a soul, as a being, and the connection between the two beings rather than two doings, when I see the other person also as a being, then there is a positive flow of energy, of love, compassion, sweetness, and then I am able to experience and express these qualities. So the key to cultivate forgiveness is the practice of seeing the self and everyone else as a being of light. That we call here in the practice of Raja Yoga as soul consciousness. Reminding the self again and again throughout the day that I am not what I see through my physical eyes, but I am an invisible, indestructible, eternal being who is filled with all the positive qualities. And if we continue to practice this, then we become more and more positive. And another important practice To rise to a higher level of forgiveness is to forget about the past and stay in the present moment. So I would like to share a story here, short story about Buddha. One day Buddha approached a man for alms. That man did not recognize Buddha, and he began to shout at him, started abusing him, accusing him. Buddha kept quiet and he walked away. And a villager who was passing by, he recognized Buddha and he told that person that, didn't you know that he was Buddha? And when he realized that, he felt very ashamed and he ran towards Buddha and he fell down at his feet and he said, please forgive me, please forgive me. So Buddha said, for what? Very calmly, Buddha said, for what? So he said, for shouting and abusing. And then Buddha asked him, when did you say that? And he replied, yesterday. And you know what Buddha said? I don't know yesterday. I know only today. So living in the present moment and forgetting about the past is very healing. It is very important to learn from our mistakes, but dwelling in the past and ruminating about it is very damaging to our health. So it's very important to not just forgive, but also forget the past and learn from the mistakes. Another healing component of forgiveness is to ask for an apology. So let's look at the 3 levels of apologizing, 3 levels of how to ask for forgiveness. Just like seeking forgiveness is healing, similarly asking for forgiveness, that's also equally important. So based on how we forgive, there are 3 levels here as well. Level 1 forgiveness is when someone is apologizing only when he's reminded, and that too with an attitude. That's the first level. Second level is apologizing with some sincerity, but only when reminded to do so. That's the second level. The third level is about, when the person apologizes spontaneously, naturally. So again, you can see where you are. As I'm sharing these levels, you can make your assessment also. And again, how long we take to apologize. And these are the same ones as forgiving someone that I already talked about. The level 1, when the person takes the whole lifetime to apologize. Level 2 is taking a long time, like years or months or weeks to apologize. And level 3 is when it takes days or hours to say sorry to someone. And level 4 is apologizing in real time. And now let's see how we can work towards a meaningful and effective apology. There are certain steps. There are 6 R's that you can use. The first step, let's see the first step. First step is to regret, having remorse about whatever you did. For example, saying like, I feel so bad about having offended you or letting you down. Or I can't believe that I broke this particular coffee mug or whatever. So having remorse, regretting. Then step 2 is, so the first step is always say sorry. What happens, we jump into telling the reason why I did what I did. So instead of telling the reason, it's very important to take the first step in saying sorry. I feel so bad that this thing happened. And then moving on to the next step, telling the reason. that I didn't realize that this particular mug, coffee mug, is so delicate, or I was trying to clean it and, it just fell down on the floor. Tell the reason. And then after that, you take the responsibility, that, yes, I really messed up. It was my fault. Truly, it was my fault. So take the responsibility. I should have been more careful while handling this particular coffee mug. And then step 4. Step 4 is, I think it's not visible. Yeah, repent. That means you repent not to repeat the same mistake again and again. Yeah. Next time I will be very careful. Yeah. So you repent. And then step 5 is that you offer to repair whatever damage you have done. Offer something that, yes, you know what, maybe I would like to buy another coffee mug for you, a new mug for you, because I was responsible for this. So do something to do the repair. And then lastly, the last step is you request for forgiveness. So these 6 steps, if you take, then you will feel that you will really feel very healed from inside. And there is healing quadrangle that now I will share with you, that the apology that you are asking for, it should be spontaneous. That means no one should remind you that you need to say sorry. It should come spontaneously. And then it should be very quick. It should not take too long to apologize. It should be quick. And the third one is that it should be genuine. That means it should not be superficial. It should come from your heart. You should make sure that you use all hours to apologize. And then lastly, you be very creative. You go back to that repair process, whether you repaired it properly or not. Sometimes, we need to go extra miles to really apologize with someone. Saying sorry is not enough. So maybe you come up with your own creativity. Maybe gift something that you feel that the person will like. Maybe create a gift card or something. Anything that is needed to make the person bring back to normal, bring a smile on his or her face. So be creative. So in order to harness the power of forgiveness and to be able to reach to that highest level of forgiveness, there is one very important thing that is important to practice. And that is connect. That's the connection with the Supreme. The Supreme Soul, who is the ocean of forgiveness. It's very important to connect with this ultimate source of forgiveness, because he's the powerhouse of forgiveness. God himself. It is said God is ever forgiving. So it is important to make that connection with the divine source, so that there is continuous flow of the energies that I was talking about, the positive energy. In the practice of Raja Yoga meditation, we make sure to make this connection every single day, so that we are always full with positivity, because ocean is unlimited. This divine source is the ocean of all beautiful qualities. And if I am always full with these qualities, then I can share with others as well. So we can experience this, how to make this connection when we do the meditation at the end. So now I will quickly summarize that forgiveness is a healthy choice as it releases us from negative emotions. Both forgiving the self and others, as well as asking for forgiveness, are essential for complete healing. Forgiveness should be quick, spontaneous, genuine, creative, and complete. Self-checking and self-transformation are the steps that one should take to cultivate forgiveness. And soulful awareness, that is the key to bring about a change in our perception, our attitude, and our feelings. That means our response towards others. And when we make this connection with the Supreme, this connection allows us, it enables us to fill ourselves with love, empathy, compassion, sweetness, all the beautiful qualities that are essential for healing. So now, if you have any questions, maybe you can put in the chat box. Now we have a few minutes for meditation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If forgiveness was not successful in removing negative emotions, would you have recommended forgiveness as the remedy?
See, if you follow the steps that I just shared with you, it's not possible that you will not be able to remove the negative emotions. It's not possible. If the steps are, if you use the right method, you will definitely get the right results. Along with that, patience is also very important. Sometimes, we don't work, make enough efforts, or we are not that patient. And then we kind of, we get disheartened and we think that it's not working. But if we continue to practice it properly, give yourself time, attention, and make effort, then it's not possible that you won't be able to let go of negativity. It's not possible at all.
But if you would not have gotten the result of removing the negativity or reducing the issues, would it still be recommended to practice forgiveness for in that event? Like, wouldn't it be against your recommendation? That's my question.
That's what I said, that if you practice properly, then it's not possible that you won't be able to come out of that negativity.
Okay.
Yeah. You practice it and see.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanishtha ji. I just wanted to say that when you have a negative emotion, however small or big, it weighs you down. Sometimes it takes away your sleep. It takes away your, gentle thoughts or whatever it is. It keeps you agitated. It keeps your heart rate high. It will probably affect your blood pressure if it stays too long. So all of these things are the negative responses of our body's system to anger or agitation. And if you decide that you are going to let it go peacefully and spontaneously, the calm that comes inside you is absolutely amazing. So I totally agree with what you're saying, and I know it's very possible.
Yes. Thank you for sharing with us very beautifully. You beautifully worded everything. Yeah. Definitely. If you do it properly, and also, it's very important to understand one thing, that if you're forgiving someone, you are actually the one who is going to benefit the maximum. You are forgiving not for others, but you're forgiving for yourself. It's like a gift that you give to yourself when you forgive someone. Yeah. So
yes. I think I totally relate with what you just said. You said you do it for yourself. Do it first for yourself, for your health, for your goodness, for your feeling of remaining calm. But it takes a while, and I think we should work towards it. And meditation is a step towards that.
Yes. The practice of meditation, definitely, if you regularly practice meditation, you will feel yourself moving towards more and more positivity, and you become more and more forgiving. With right understanding, with the power that you get from the connection with the Supreme, you will see the difference by yourself. So let's
Just quickly, I want to say that, in fact, with the practice of meditation, you're able to reach the level 5 of forgiveness too. That is, you truly are able to empower the other person who has done the wrong to bring about transformation in their lives too. So you not just improve your life, but you also improve the lives of people around you through your true practice of forgiveness at that highest level.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Actually, I totally forgot to mention that. And I had said that I will talk about the level 5 forgiveness at the end. Yes, the connection with the divine, when we make this connection with the divine, then we see the power coming to us. And that power actually enables others to bring about the transformation in themselves. So it's very beautiful connection with the divine energy. So let's,
Kanishtha Ben, I'm sorry, but let me just make one quick comment, if you don't mind. I just wanted to say that if you have done something and think you are forgiving, and you're still feeling negativity, it means you truly have not forgiven. Because a lot of times we think we have forgiven only in the moment, but the moment you see the person, again, the feelings come up. It means you really have not yet forgiven.
Yeah.
So it means if you're still feeling negative emotions, tell yourself, I still need to work on the process.
Right.
It's not, once you're forgiven means you have forgiven, and it means you have let go of the negative emotions. If you're still feeling it, you're holding on to something. You haven't really forgiven.
Yeah. You have to really burn the emotions, it's very important. Otherwise they keep appearing every now and then. One of the words that we use here in the practice of Raj Yoga meditation is fire of yoga. So when we connect with the divine energy, we create that fire, and in that fire, we allow all these negativities to burn away. And then that helps us become more and more positive. Yeah. So let's do a few minutes of meditation as the time is coming close.
Thank you for a very great presentation. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you everyone for being with me here. So let's take a few minutes of meditation experience on forgiveness. Let today be your true day of independence, freedom from the old memories of the past, those memories which had not served you in any way. Those memories which were impeding your growth. I invite you to take this firm decision today to forgive everyone, including yourself, and to let go of every trace of sadness, bitterness, and resentment towards anyone. Take this moment to gently step inwards into that clean and silent space where you can connect to your true self. Have this powerful awareness that I am a being of light, a very special child of God. God, who is the ocean of love, ocean of light. Open up your heart and allow God's light to enter in. take this moment to release all the unwanted feelings that you have been holding on to into this ocean. Release and relax. Release and relax. And feel a sense of liberation, a sense of lightness. As you become free from the negative energy that you have been holding on to, there is a gush of positive energy from that ocean of pure energy of God, energy of love, joy, peace. You are filling in this energy within. Now remind yourself about your true purpose. Why are you here? I am here on this planet for giving love. I am here for giving peace. I am here for giving happiness. With this awareness, see yourself flying like a bird and sharing the lightness that you are experiencing now with other beings on this planet Earth, healing the self, healing others, and healing the entire world. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Kanishtha, and thank you all of you for this wonderful session that we had on it together. And so we'll meet again next Sunday evening, same time, 8 p.m. Om Shanti. Good night.
Om Shanti. Thank you.